Good day, it's me, YouTuber UK, Waddles here. Welcome back. It's sometimes considered a little known fact that Minecraft actually has 3 dimensions: the overworld, the nether, and the end. The most recent 1.18 experimental snapshot changed the dimensions a little bit. We'll say that. Today we're going to check out some of the weird bugginess that's happening in the nether and the end. Leave a like to leave a like, subscribe so you subscribe, and turn the notifications on so you get notified. There's a new video every day. You won't regret it. Today we're going to start with this seed right here. It's a seed that I actually used for a thumbnail. This is the seed. This is not the world spawn. It's just where I move world spawn to. Experiencing these weird changes are pretty easy actually. All you need to do is create another portal and go into the nether or go to the end. In this world, we go through the nether portal. Right off the bat, we see a bunch of netherrack. That's pretty normal so far. And then we turn and see literally nothing. So whatever went wrong with his experimental snapshot essentially turned this nether into a gigantic void of literally nothingness. The ceiling is kind of interesting. There's a lava ocean here. And then basically nothing. At least over here. So obviously, sometimes the nether can get pretty big and open, but this is basically unprecedented here. The portal is all the way over there, and this is just a gigantic room. Gigantic, huge, empty space. So much building potential, but none at all. And then nothing else, at least for a little while. It's pretty much a gigantic open void. Now, obviously, the nether can be open sometimes. That definitely happens. Like, the nether is just a big open space. Lava oceans happen, yeah. But, like, this size, yeah, this is basically unprecedented. I've never seen in any of my survival worlds since the 1.16 update an open area that is this big. I mean, look at this place. It's gigantic. It just keeps going and going and going. And it's all open. It is lined by biomes. But for the most part, this place is just some kind of gigantic open wasteland. So I don't exactly know where I started, a long ways from here, but this void is still going. It continues out this way. I can literally just keep flying through here. I've been to all of the nether biomes now without really doing anything, and this thing continues. This is really big and open. This is essentially the end, to be honest, and there's literally nothing. Like nothing at some points. It's just all red. Honestly, it kind of gives it a creepier vibe at times, but it's insanely boring. Like, it's pretty rough. I have looked at the end in this world, and to be honest, I saw a little bit of weirdness, for sure. But for the most part, the end in this world was a whole lot more normal looking. So here's the portal room. Before we go into the end, if you were wondering about anything to do with the end in the overworld, like the stronghold, it seems pretty normal to me. This looks like a normal stronghold should. In the overworld, it was pretty normal. If we move into the end, though, right off the bat, things get a little strange. So there's some kind of weird loading issue with the end. It takes a long time to load, from my experience. And then we move up to the ground, like let's say we mined up here. And then we have nothing. Basically nothing. So there was an ender dragon here. I took it out. But at least in this world, I'm not too sure what went wrong here, but the end is missing something. I'm not going to say what it is, but maybe we'll be able to figure it out. It's kind of missing something that's somewhat important. After I took out the dragon, this gateway opened right here, which is pretty much a normal gateway as far as I can tell. I took the bedrock out so I could get through it, but yeah, pretty much normal. Amazing, like literally perfect, best gateway I've ever seen, but this is kind of normal looking. The weirdness that I found is off over this way. If we were to start exploring the end, we would start finding strange generation like this, like that could pass, maybe. But at the same time, it's really strange. See, the end is kind of tricky because it's already like really open and the land is really strange in terms of like the shape that it generates in. But right over here, this shelf, this looks a little strange to me, like really, really flat. And how thin it is and how long it is, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I could be wrong on this for sure, but it definitely seems like to me that there are more weird small islands floating off of the bigger end islands. And a lot of the time, they're like really, really flat. Like right there, super flat. Can't get more flat. And over here, pretty flat too. As far as the rest of the end generation, at least in this world and from what I've seen, it all looks pretty normal. Flipping into spectator mode, going under the ground, it's solid. No caves here or anything. The end is a strange place, which makes it really hard to tell. But these weird flat areas and then the small flat islands hanging off of these bigger islands, yeah, something seems off here. Now, these changes are bugs, especially the nether one. Yeah, gigantic bug. That would not be an upgrade. The nether is not changing in 1.18. Here's a tweet from Henrik, one of Minecraft's developers. From what I've been seeing on Twitter, it seems like Henrik is doing a lot of the new 1.18 generation. These nether changes, the end changes, yeah, they're really weird. They're not good, and they're bugs. They're not going to be in 1.18. And a follow-up tweet right here, Henrik has confirmed that the end, the nether, are not changing in 1.18. It would be cool, but 1.18 is already going to be pretty big. And remember, this thing is meant to drop by holiday season, which is getting closer every day. It's not that far off as it is right now. So yeah, the end and the nether are not changing. They're just bugged in this experimental snapshot right now. It's really strange looking. Enough of that world though. Next we're going to make another brand new world. This world is going to be a normal world. I'm not really going to change anything about it. We're going to do a completely random seed here. We'll take a look at it once we're in the world. But yeah. Oh yeah, world loads really slow in this experimental snapshot too. At least sometimes. And there was one time when I was stuck on a 100% for literally like 2 minutes. It was pretty weird. New world. This is the world seed right here. So right off the bat, this is a really good world. I like this spawn. This is very promising. A plains biome right there. Huge, awesome looking mountain over there. Cool looking mountains there. But the nether. How does the nether look? Is it going to be as nice? Okay, yep. Aha. Aha, yes. Welcoming. Alright, so, yep, right off the bat, it looks like we're going to have the same void issue here. Gigantic empty nether, essentially. Fortress over there, we'll check out in a second. But this cliff right here, this 100% looks like this weird 1.18 generation that I'm seeing in some of the strange biomes, like Shattered Savannah. Like, just really steep cliffs. Very interesting looking, kind of cool, but at the same time, completely unusable in survival. Like, what do you even do here? Like, you cannot. Okay, so going back over to the nether portal, which was right there, there's another fortress over here. Looks like it's in the middle of an ocean. Does it touch the land at all even? Or is this literally... Yeah, no, this is completely in the ocean. 100%. This would be great for a wither skeleton farm, other than the land right there. But, yeah, kind of weird. Now, within some of the biomes in the nether, there is some really strange generation too. Check this out right here. The basalt deltas, usually very spiky, lava all over the place. It's flat, just completely smooth in here. It blends into the soul sand valley in a super flat way, and then things get relatively normal. It's a little bit more cave-like, but yeah, relatively normal in here. Now, it looks like what's happening here is you take the 1.18 caves that are under the ground in the overworld, and you put them in the nether, and then you also just like bug them out a bunch too. Yeah, I think that's how this happens. In some of these voids, you get these very interesting floating islands. Like, you get this end vibe in here. Just a gigantic floating island of soul sand, supported by the basalt pillar, of course, so it's a little realistic. And then just tons of nothingness. Like, if these lava falls weren't here, if the ceiling was all netherrack, this would literally look the same in every direction. Another strange floating island. This time it has, residents. That's cool. This would be a potentially very dangerous spot to be. Not good generation at all. We'll go ahead and get out of there. Yep, that's dangerous. I guess this makes a good point, though. This would be really good generation for mob farming. Like, you wouldn't have to go above the nether to set up a piglin farm. You could just literally set up a small floating island out in the open, and it would work. So maybe it is cool. But anyways, moving through, we're in a basalt deltas now. Moving over into the soul sand valley biome. There is some interesting soul sand valley biome generation, too. I do have to say, though, that some of this generation is actually kind of cool. Like, some of these gigantic caves in here and ravines cutting through, they're actually pretty cool. But they do go from the top of the nether, essentially to the bottom. Yeah, maybe that's a little extreme here. But it is kind of cool. Yes, here it is, here it is. The Soul Sand Valley Basalt Deltas. So... here we have the Soul Sand Valley with, like, a lava pool blending over from the Basalt Delta. Now, this could just be a weird, like, biome transition thing, but, like, over here, you have the magma blocks in here. We are apparently clearly in the Basalt Deltas right here, including in the Soul Sand. Yeah, that's where it kind of gets weird. It's not just a weird biome transition. Something is going completely wrong with the biome labeling here somehow, because Basalt Deltas, yeah, not a chance at all. No way. It's pretty crazy. Some of the generation of these other dimensions in the snapshot are pretty interesting. Over here, we have a warped forest biome. First one of this world. Very, very difficult generation, though. No way you could travel this stuff in survival at all. I mean, I guess unless you have an elytra, that would definitely work. But without an elytra, the nether is basically off limits now. The nether is also plagued by really strange small biomes, if you want to even call it that. Right now we're in the nether waste. You would think this is a warped forest, but it's actually the nether waste. But it has warped forest blocks. That doesn't happen in the nether waste. That is plain wrong. Here's a crimson forest biome, kind of cozy looking, if this could look cozy. Very cool. Cool until you find some kind of strange, cursed combination of the two forest biomes. So this place right here, this is indeed the crimson forest. Crimson plants, warped floor, all over the place for like a long ways, and then netherrack in there too. Yeah, and the whole place is a crimson forest, not a warped forest. You can tell by the fog color, also the label in there. Yeah, it's weird. Other than some of the weird mob spawning behavior, yeah, pretty cool looking. It's like a nice microbiome here, but this is actually a crimson forest still. Oh, correction, my bad. Where this tree is, this is the nether wastes actually, not the crimson forest. The warped forest is somewhere in here, I think. Oh, there it is. So this area is the warped forest right here. The nether waste biome is over here, and the nether waste biome is over there too. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Now it's time to go to the end of this world. So instead of finding a stronghold, because we've already seen that the strongholds are normal, we'll just build an end portal frame right here and go into the end. A pretty normal starting box somewhere under the ground, and we move up top, and yep, it happened again. Huge, just a huge open flat area, no obsidian pillars at all, no end crystals, which I guess is good in a way. The dragon won't be able to regen the health, but really big, it just giant and open. I didn't think the end could feel any more empty and boring, but yeah, no, it definitely could feel more empty and boring for sure. And I don't know if it's just me or what, but this island feels massive. Like, look at this thing. Even without the obsidian pillars, like imagining them in there, they would be like around that. Isn't this thing gigantic or what? Like this is huge. Aha, and very flat too. Yeah, that's pretty weird looking. That doesn't look normal. Okay, so anyways, let's move on. We'll get rid of the ender dragon right here. There we go. Now it's time to explore the end. So the portal generates like normal. It's literally a normal gateway, and it sends us off to this spot right here. Kind of isolated, but normal. In terms of distance from the end island, that looks normal too. Now right off the bat, end generation over here looks pretty normal for the most part. Like, this is pretty standard end generation, I think. Maybe some strange flat areas again, like this spot right here looks a little weird, a little bit more square than normal. Yeah, definitely flatter than normal, I would think. Like this right here, super flat. Kind of strange, but when compared to what we were seeing in the nether just a minute ago, a whole lot more normal looking. Like, this is pretty usual, and actually in this world, I'm not seeing as many small islands floating off of the side of the bigger ones. Like, I mean, there's one right there, but yeah, I'm seeing way less of them. This looks like the exact same shape as one of the other ones, though. Like, I'm pretty sure it's literally the same exact shape. And then random blocks floating off. Yeah, okay, that's a little weird. So the end is pretty weird too, but the nether is definitely way more bugged right now. And so, that's it. That's the video. The end of the nether got really bugged in experimental snapshot number 1 for 1.18, but it's just a bug. If you found some pretty strange 1.18 generation in the test snapshots, definitely tag me on them on Twitter, @itiswaddles. Big thank you to Bill Geek and Bill W today for the support. Remember to leave a like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.